discussing in the session earlier today with data and analytics and in index insurance, there are a lot of opportunities from the standpoint that there's so much more data available to us to gather insight, both about the performance of crops, weather conditions, and the underwriting and the pricing, to be really able to customize and modernize the approach that we're taking to the business. We can use that data and the insight that analytics provides us to do a better job. We were talking about how it can be that we could appeal to farmers better and get better participation rates. And in the question and answer session today, there were a lot of good ideas about how to bring insight to the process. And again, data comes in lots of different forms, and some of that is feedback from the farmer, and that would be a use for it. At the same time, we were talking about insurance companies and reinsurers and how they might be able to use data more effectively to underwrite and price their products, and deal with governments to gain their participation in the program so that these index insurance programs could be more successful and penetrate further. I think there are a lot of promising leads. We're seeing the integration of weather information with business intelligence capabilities to be able to understand weather better, predictive analytics being applied to that same sort of data. There was an example of soil condition and disease, plant disease information being able to be applied into the analysis of the index products to, again, fine-tune the indices that are used for different programs. So yes, there are a lot of new ways of using existing data and new sources of data that we can use new analytic capabilities to improve the processes. Soil quality, as one of the participants in the session was asking from the floor with his question, he was pointing out the historical use of weather data to understand plant success. But in many cases, it's the soil that lends a great deal to the success of a crop, the absorption of and retention of water. And so we discussed both the availability of some of the publicly available soil quality information, but also some of the implications of satellite imagery and others to be able to extrapolate soil type to better understand plant performance. I don't know that indices are necessarily wrong. They can always be fine-tuned, and we're encouraging through the discussions at this conference experimentation with different approaches to fine-tune indices to make them more reliable, not only for the insurance company, but at the end of the day for the farmer, because it's up to him or her to really have confidence that the product is going to be there for them in their particular time of need. And the more accurate those indices, the more accurate, the more successful the service that the insurance company can provide to them will be. I'd like to call it a challenge. The challenge today is that there's so much data that's coming from so many different sources. The business analyst, the underwriter, the designer of the index products has always been an analyst of sort, but there's been oftentimes a separation between him or her and the people procuring the data. We have the capability with the modern analytic tools and in fact, the blending of analytic capabilities, so the blending of geospatial analysis, predictive analytics, business intelligence, all coming together, provide a business person the capability to be imagining the art of the possible and conducting their own analyses where they couldn't in the past. That requires some business changes, which can be challenging the status quo and getting people to think about new ways of approaching both the questions that they want to ask of themselves and the answers that they need to develop to improve the products and services that they're providing. This is my first time attending the conference, and I was delighted to be invited to come and bring the IBM perspective to the conference. What's impressed me is the number of people who are here from many conferences along the way, and there's clearly a strong network within that community. But at the same time, there are a lot of people like myself who appear to be attending this for the first time, and I've been impressed by the energy, the enthusiasm, and most importantly, the dedication that these attendees have to their business. It's impressive.